All right, let's talk about the 9 habits that self-made millionaire Graham Stephan says are secretly holding you back from getting rich. These are the things you might not even realize you're doing.
And look, this guy knows what he's talking about. Before he was even famous on YouTube, Graham had already built a net worth of over $22 million. And he says it all came down to kicking a few specific money habits. So, this isn't just some textbook theory. This is the real deal, stuff that actually works in the real world.
So here's what I want you to do. As we go through this list, I want you to really ask yourself, which of these are secretly making me poorer? Seriously, because just spotting one of these in your own life, that's the first step. That's where the big change begins.
Okay, so we've broken these 9 habits down into a simple 3-part game plan. First up, we're going to play defense and stop the money leaks. Then we'll switch to offense and really accelerate how you build wealth. And finally, we'll lock it all down with the long-term thinking that really separates the successful from everyone else.
All right, section 1, your financial defense. This is all about plugging the holes in your financial boat before you even think about sailing anywhere. You got to stop the leaks first, right? So let's jump into the 3 biggest culprits. Okay, habit number 1, lifestyle inflation. Man, this one is so sneaky because it feels completely normal. You get a raise, you land a bonus, and what's the first thought? Time for an upgrade. It's a classic trap that keeps you on a financial hamster wheel. You're earning more money, but you're not actually getting any richer. And you know exactly what this sounds like, right? That little voice in your head goes, ooh, with that new salary, I can get a better car, eat out more, buy those new clothes. And just like that, the extra money is gone. It's already spent before it even hits your account. And instead of your money working for you, you end up working harder just to keep up with your own lifestyle.
So what's Graham's fix? It's pretty radical, but it's also simple. Just live like you're broke. Seriously. For years, even when he was making great money, he fully embraced this idea of delayed gratification. It's perfectly captured in that Thai saying, forgo the sour for the sweet later. It just means, put up with a little less now so you can have a whole lot more later. It's about trading short-term wants for long-term freedom.
Okay, the second major money leak, it's so basic. Not tracking your expenses. Graham points out that one of the biggest differences between the rich and, well, everyone else is that wealthy people know exactly where every single dollar is going. The rest of us, we just get to the end of the month and wonder, wait, where did it all go? So he throws down this challenge. I want you to try this. For just 60 days, write down every single penny you spend. I don't care if you use an app, a little notebook, whatever. The point isn't even to create a strict budget. It's just about awareness. Because once you actually see where your money is disappearing, you can't unsee it. And trust me, your spending habits will just naturally start to change. And the last habit we need to break on defense is this: borrowing the maximum amount of money the bank says you can. Look, a lender's job is to lend you as much money as possible. That's how they make their money. But you have to remember, that maximum loan amount they offer you, that's not a suggestion. It's a trap. Here's the key. You borrow what you know you can comfortably afford, not what some bank algorithm tells you. I mean, just look at Graham's personal story. When he went to buy his first property, the bank offered him a loan for $1.5 million. And what did he do? He only took $600,000. Why? Because that kept him in his comfort zone. It meant less stress and more financial freedom down the line. Okay, defense is locked in. The leaks are plugged. Now it's time to switch gears and go on the offense. This next part is all about being proactive, about strategically building wealth, not just passively saving whatever's left at the end of the month. All right, let's talk about habit number 6, relying on just one single stream of income. Most people just have their 9-to-5 job and that's it. But that's like trying to balance on a one-legged stool. It's incredibly risky. If that one leg gets kicked out from under you, your entire financial life comes crashing down. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The numbers are clear. The wealthy don't operate this way. A survey from CNBC showed that 65%, almost 2/3 of millionaires have 3 or more streams of income. They're not just relying on one paycheck. They're building a strong financial safety net, not just hanging by a single thread. And our first move on offense is tackling habit number 4, not understanding taxes. Let's be real. Most of us just see taxes as this thing that happens to us. But think about this. For the average person, almost 1/3 of your income can just disappear into taxes. 1/3. That is a huge chunk of your hard-earned money to just give away without a fight. And that leads us right into habit number 5, which is ignoring your retirement accounts. Now, here's a cool part. The solution for both of these habits is this amazing 2-for-1 deal, using tax-advantaged retirement accounts. Think about it. These things let you pay yourself first. The money goes straight into your investment account for the future before the taxman can even get his hands on it. So you're building your retirement wealth and you're legally lowering your tax bill right now. It's a total win-win.
So we've covered defense, we've covered offense, now for the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. This section is all about the mindset. It's the foundation that makes sure the wealth you build actually lasts. Now this next one, habit number 7, might actually surprise you. It's the habit of being too cheap. And yes, there's a huge difference between being cheap and being frugal. See, cheap is all about finding the lowest possible price right now, no matter what. Frugal, on the other hand, is about finding the best value for your money over the long haul.
And this is perfectly explained by what's called the boot theory. It goes like this. A rich person buys a really good pair of boots for $100, and they last for 10 years. A poor person can only afford the $20 boots, but they fall apart and have to be replaced every single year. So after 10 years, who spent more money? The person who bought the cheap boots ended up spending double. The lesson, investing in quality, actually saves you money in the end.
Okay, on to habit number 8, not planning for the worst. Look, life is unpredictable. Bad stuff happens, people lose their jobs, they get in accidents, they get sick. And if you don't have a plan in place for that, just one of those events can completely destroy everything you've worked for. It can wipe out your savings in a heartbeat.
So, you absolutely have to build a financial safety net. It's not optional. What does that look like? Well, first, an emergency fund with enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of your expenses. Then, the right insurance for your car, your home, and your health. Don't think of this as an expense. Think of it as protecting the wealth you're working so hard to build.
And that brings us to the final habit, number 9. And this one really pulls everything together. It's the habit of simply not having a plan. Getting wealthy isn't something that just happens by accident. It's the result of making deliberate, intentional choices day after day. If you don't have a roadmap, you're just drifting. And you can't just hope you'll drift into a good financial future.
Okay, I know that was a lot to take in. 9 different habits covering defense, offense, your whole mindset. Looking at that whole list can feel, pretty overwhelming. So the natural question is, okay, great, but where on earth do I even begin?
And the answer is actually really simple. Don't. Don't try to tackle all 9 at once. Just pick one. Find the one that really stood out to you. Maybe the one that made you feel a little uncomfortable, or maybe the one that feels like the easiest first step. It doesn't matter if it's tracking your spending for the next 2 months or finally setting up that retirement account. Just pick your one thing and start on it today. Because the future version of you, they're really hoping you do.